We now return to Let's Play Tomb Raider: The Prophecy. This little area here is just a transitional level, but it still gives you an opportunity to kill yourself. I think it's interesting that they went to the trouble of making the outdoor scene and the graphics for it, but it really doesn't have any bearing whatsoever on the game itself or any of the levels. Yet another Cambodian wolf. Not alone, of course. It's really important not to get way too ahead of yourself in these levels, otherwise you will run into a lot of rooms with multiple enemies in them and quickly get overwhelmed. We're gonna have to bypass that for right now. And this is another perfect example of these puzzles where you have to go back and forth, going across one section of the room to hit a button that opens the door back on the other side. You're going to go to a lot of trouble just to wind up with a button. Big old room just for that one skeleton and the button. Thankfully it was an easy one though. You have to be careful here because if you just run off the edge, that one is high enough that you will die. So you need to let yourself down off the edge. And this is a timed button. If you fail to get through these doors, you have to go all the way back and do it again. Thankfully I timed those flames just right. That button right there basically opens the way for you to go back, just in case you screwed it up. But here's a wonderful little thing where we are faced with tight quarters around a skeleton, and there's another one over there on the left, so you don't want to go too far to the left or else you activate it. I suppose it is possible to drag those over the flames. That probably would have been a better choice to dealing with them, because those flames were actually pretty frequent and they probably would have done the job. There's another wolf at the end of this, so just don't go running right off. Another two wolves. They always seem to come in three in the Cambodia levels. Thankfully I have plenty of med packs. Or med kits, I guess. There's the third one. That one is a very tricky jump. Just make sure you actually land on the little pillar there in the middle, not overshoot it. Gotta run through yet another timed corridor. That one is very quick. I feel like the timer really serves no purpose other than to make you hurry and then just rush blindly into the room. Because these buttons here will reopen the doors again. So I kind of feel like it's just a trap. And here is a cutscene. And a very nasty surprise. As soon as the cutscene ends, you're surrounded by 3 wolves. It's a pretty nasty trick. Especially since they aren't even hinted at in the cutscene. But I guess they're better than skeletons. Those cultists will become regular enemies soon, and they're very annoying because they can raise the dead. You'll notice that those wolves disappear after you kill them, but the skeletons crumple into piles, and those cultists can raise them if they're nearby. They'll be much easier, though, once I get the Uzis. We'll be back in that room soon enough, just for that stupid button. This is another one you don't want to drop off too high up. But that right there is just ridiculous. Went all that way for the button, to go all the way back, to then hit the next button, which opened the door we were just at. At least it's not timed or anything. The skeletons are also going to become more frequent enemies throughout the rest of the Cambodia area. This one is a bit tricky. You gotta be careful not to run into the flames. If you hurry, you can get past both of them. And that sound right there indicates a cultist. We'll be coming back and around for that, so there's no reason to go down there anyway. There's actually 2 doors to the exit. Unfortunately, I can't get it from up there. Oh, there's two of them. You'll see there, it looked like he was trying to do a sigil. I believe that was an attempt at raising a skeleton. They're not too bad, though, so long as you can dodge the magic that they shoot out. You want to make sure to hit both buttons here, because one of them activates an invisible trap up above to that button up there. Again, there's no indication of the invisibility, no discoloration or anything, so you just have to hit all the buttons, which I guess isn't so bad because it's not really that hard to do. I think most players would hit both buttons anyway, just out of habit. And a skeleton is re-raised. I believe that was the one the cultist probably did on the other side. And there is another door up there, so we have to go back and around to the other side to get a button to open it up, which was the button that had that invisible trap on it. So it's easy to forget that. Thankfully, the habit of re-raising enemies in rooms that have already been cleared isn't really a common thing throughout the rest of the Cambodia area. So you don't have to worry too much about that. But there are still plenty of skeletons, nonetheless. Fairly low on health, but it doesn't really matter because the end of the level is just up ahead. And all of that will be replenished, so no reason to waste a medipack. Alright, so that's a good place to end it. See you next time.